Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to learn about white blood cells, also known as leukocytes. Okay, so first thing first, white blood cells are known as soldiers of our body. Okay, they forms natural defense system. Okay, they forms body's natural defense system. Okay, against what? Against microbes and their toxin. So they act as our defense system. Fine, whenever we are infected with some germs, microbes and their toxin, we are having some allergic reaction, these blood cells, that is white blood cells or leukocyte, helps us. Okay, now we are going to learn about few general characters of these cells. Okay, so these are blood cells, as I have told you earlier. So unlike RBCs, they are what? They are colorless. Okay, they are colorless. Fine. Why? Because they do not possess hemoglobin. That's why they are colorless. They are irregular shaped. Sometimes round, but mostly irregular. Okay, they are nucleated. It means they have nucleus in their cell. RBCs or erythrocytes were they were unnucleated. It means they do not possess nucleus. Fine. Now these white blood cells, they move like amoeba. Fine. Okay. And sometimes they can come out of the blood capillaries. They can do what? They can come out through the blood capillaries. Okay. Now this particular process is called diapedesis. We will remember this term. Okay, this is a very important term. We will remember this. Okay, and the process by which these white blood cells or leukocytes are formed, that is called leuco. Okay, I'm writing it again. Leucopoiesis. Okay, so leucopoiesis is what? Leucopoiesis is the process by which white blood cells are formed. Okay, I will repeat these characters one more time. They are colorless. Why? Because they do not have hemoglobin. They are irregular. Sometimes round, some mostly irregular. Okay, they are nucleated. Okay, they are nucleated. Unlike the RBCs, they are nucleated. They can move like amoeba and they can come out through the blood capillaries via the process diapedesis. Okay, now these white blood cells have types. Okay, white blood cells have types. We can typify white blood cells into two groups. Okay, we can typify them into two groups. Fine. One is granulocytes. Okay, another one is agranulocyte. Now, as the name suggests, granulocytes means, suppose this is a white blood cells. This is their nucleus. Okay, this is their nucleus, and they, in their cytoplasm, we can see a lots of granules. Okay, lots of granules we can see. The size can vary. The size can vary in different cases. So these type of white blood cells are called granulocytes. Okay, and in case of agranulocytes, what we will see? We will see no granules present there. Okay, so in based on the presence of granules in cytoplasm, white blood cells can be typified into two groups. One is granulocytes, in which cytoplasm has granules, and in agranulocytes, cytoplasm doesn't contain granules. Okay. Now, based on these, we can typify granulocytes into three groups and agranulocyte into two groups. Okay, we will study it via help of a diagram. Okay, now in this diagram, we will see that first we are going to talk about the granulocytes. Okay, so in granulocytes, we can see three types: neutrophils, basophils, eosinophils and basophils. Okay, so there are three types of granulocytes, and in case of agranulocyte we can see two types. One is lymphocyte, another one is monocyte. Fine. Okay, so granulocyte when cytoplasm contain granules, granulocyte when they lack cytoplasmic granules, that is agranulocytes. Okay, first we are going to talk about neutrophils. Okay, first we are going to talk about neutrophils. Okay, so most of the leukocytes are neutrophils. Neutrophils contain up for 50 to 70% of total nucleocytes. Up to 70%. It varies from person to person. Okay. Now, nucleus is 3 to 5 lobed. Okay. If we study this diagram, we can see that here nucleus is divided into lobes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. So here nucleus is 3 to 5 lobed. Okay. And these granules present in neutrophils can be stained by neutral dyes. Okay. Neutral dyes. Hence the name neutrophils. Why? Because they can be stained by neutral dyes. Fine. Next, what is their function? They are phagocytic in nature. Okay, they are phagocytic in nature. It's mean they can engulf microorganisms via the process of phagocytosis, right? They can also do what? They can remove cell debris. As they are phagocytic in nature, they can remove cell debris. Fine. And they squeeze through capillaries via the process diaperesis. As I have said it earlier, they can squeeze through capillary walls at the site of injury. Okay, if there is an injury, they will squeeze through the capillary wall at the site of injury to heal that injury. Okay, so that was all about neutrophils. Fine. Now we are going to talk about eosinophils. Okay. Now we are going to talk about eosinophils. Now as we can see here, the nucleus is bilobed, right? Here the nucleus is bilobed. Okay, that is its first character. That nucleus is what? Bilobed. Okay. Now these granules are alkaline in nature. These granules, you can see big granules, they are alkaline in nature. So they can be stained with acidic dye. Acidic dye as in eosine. That's why they are called eosinophils or sometimes acidophils. Okay, they can be called eosinophils or acidophils. Okay, now what is their function? Their function is to detoxify bacterial toxin. Okay, detoxify bacterial toxin. Okay, and promote tissue inflammation. Fine. So that was eosinophil. Okay. Next we are going to learn about basophil. Next we are going to learn about basophil. As we can see by the diagram that here the nucleus is trilobed. Okay, see, here the nucleus is trilobed. Okay, and they can be dyed with basic dyes. Okay, that's why they have this name basophil. Now, basophil has two very important component in their cytoplasm. Okay, first one is heparin. Okay, now heparin is what? Heparin is one blood anticoagulant. Okay, anticoagulant. It helps in preventing blood clotting inside the body. Fine. Now, if blood is getting coagulated or clotted inside our veins and capillaries, then blood will not flow and obviously we will die. So heparin is the chemical which helps our body to which helps our blood to get anticoagulate. Okay, it acts as an anticoagulant. It doesn't let the blood clot. Okay, and hence it flows through our body. Fine. And it also has histamine. It also has histamine in the cytoplasm, which is again an inflammatory agent. Okay, they functions in allergic reaction. Their main purpose is to respond in allergic reaction. Fine. So these were the three: granulocyte, neutrophils, eosinophil, basophils. In case of neutrophils, we can see three to five lobed nucleus. Fine. They can be dyed via neutral dyes, hence they get the name neutrophils. They are mostly phagocytic in nature. It's mean they can engulf bacteria and they can also remove cell debris. Fine. Next we have eosinophil. They are basic in nature. The granules are basic in nature, hence they can be dyed with acidic dyes like eosinophils. Right. They do what? They detoxify the bacterial toxin and promote tissue inflammation. Fine. Next we have basophil. In this case, what we can see that the nucleus is trilobed. Fine. Now in basophil cytoplasm we can see heparin, which is an anticoagulant which stops the blood to get clotted inside veins and capillaries, and then we have histamine, which is an inflammatory agent. And the main function of basophil is to respond to allergic reactions. Fine. Now these were the granulocytes. Now we are going to talk about the agranulocyte. Agranulocyte, as I have said you earlier, that here the cytoplasmic granules are lacking. Here what happens? The cytoplasmic granules are lacking. Fine. First we are going to talk about lymphocyte. Okay, lymphocytes are smallest of all other type of leukocyte. They are the smallest and they contain almost 30 to 35% of the total nucleoside. Fine. They have large rounded nucleus. As you can see here, the nucleus is large. Right now, the nucleus is large and rounded. So they have what? Large, rounded nucleus. Okay. And the amount of cytoplasm is very less. As you can see in this diagram, the amount of cytoplasm is very less. Now, lymphocytes are of two types. Fine. First, we have B lymphocytes. Okay. B lymphocytes, which produces what? Which produces antibody. Now these antibodies can combine with antigens, right? And hence they destroy the microorganism producing this particular antigen, right? And the second type of cells are T lymphocytes. Okay. T lymphocytes. Okay, they directly destroy that cell which has antigen. They directly destroy antigen containing cells. Okay, they have cells like NK, that is natural killer cells. Fine. Last but not the least is monocytes. Last but not the least is monocytes. As we can see here, the nucleus is U-shaped. U-shaped or kidney shaped, right? Here the nucleus is U-shaped or kidney shaped. Its function is almost like neutrophils. Okay, these can also engulf microorganisms. Okay, microbes, just like neutrophils, and worn out tissues. Okay, so these were the types of leukocytes and their functions. In this video, up to this much only. If you like my content, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.